Oh, hello guys. Sorry I'm a bit late. It took a little bit longer to make my tea than it normally does. If you're watching this and it's not live, the Keeping Goals live Q&A is something we do each week where I jump on here, answer your questions, chat through things. Basically, a chance to interact with you guys and help you with anything you might need me to help with. Hi Troy, Callum, good to see you. Harley, good to see you. Kai, hello mate. Will, hello. Ella, hiya. Luke, Elliot, good to see you. So, as we're all jumping on, shoot away with your questions and I will try my best to answer them. Ivan, did I fix the description? Yes, Ivan, I did. Thank you very much for letting me know that I hadn't put the links in the description of the YouTube video on Sunday. I normally do. I normally just chuck them all in there, but completely forgot. So thank you for reminding me. How long you been a goalkeeper for? I was a goalkeeper from as long as I can remember. Me and my brother used to play in the garden. He used to shoot at me. I used to dive around in the mud. I'd say since I was 4 or 5 probably. Have you got show yet? Do you mean snow in Gibraltar in Spain? We haven't had any snow. We had that hot storm a couple of weeks ago, which really battered Spain, mainly the north, a bit more in the north, like Barcelona. But we had a bit of a horrible storm, but no snow. It's still very warm. It's probably about 18 degrees at the minute. How old are you? I am 24 years old. Your goalkeeping idol, Marco. My goalkeeping idol is Iker Casillas. Always has been. Incredible goalkeeper. Christian, good to see you, mate. What do you think of De Gea at the moment? De Gea is an incredible goalkeeper, one of the best in the world. Has had some tough moments this year and last year, really. Some mistakes, some consistent games. I think trying to find that consistency that he had 3-4 years ago would probably be his aim. But he's still one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Snow in Romania. Whoa. Yeah, no snow in Spain at the minute, unfortunately. It'd be quite interesting to see how the Spanish cope. They put on hats and gloves and scarves when it gets to about 12 degrees, so I think snow would be a bit of a game changer. Join the NDL. What's the NDL, Grant? Let me know. No idea what that is. How do you get your kicks to go far? With kicks, any type of kicks off the floor, out your hands, drop kicks. You need to practice basically. So you need to practice the repetition so that you get the technique right before you worry about the distance. If the technique's not right, you'll never get the distance far enough. So perfect the distance. Perfect the technique over a short amount of distance, and then when you build up your leg strength, your technique, your timing, the ball will go further. How's the transition been from Europa Point to Bruno's? Great question. It's been really interesting. There's a lot of things which are very different. A lot of obviously new players, new management. The management team is Spanish, so it's more kind of focusing on my Spanish communication, which is interesting. We haven't had as good results as we would want, and we know that we can do a lot better with that. So in terms of results, we need to pick that up pretty soon. But the club have been brilliant with me, and I really enjoy the training and the matches, and the lads are brilliant. So no, I've really enjoyed it. Do you prefer scoring top bins in the last minute or making the best cross in the last minute assisting? I'm a goalkeeper, so I would probably do neither of those. Did you have a part-time job in university? John, I didn't have a part-time job in university. My time at uni was very much kind of, all my time was split between my degree and studying and revision and all the football stuff that we were doing. We would train pretty much every day. We had games, 2 or 3 games a week, traveling obviously to away games. So I didn't have the time to kind of fit in a part-time job in between that. But I also didn't really have much of a social life, so I didn't really have to fund anything in terms of that. So, but that was how I wanted it, really. What did you study? I studied international business at university. Did I watch KSI Logan Paul? I did not watch KSI Logan Paul, but I hope it was a good one. Thank you, Grant. Who's the best team you've played against? Ooh, not sure. There've been lots of good teams. Did Klopp make the right decision with leaving the game to the under-23s? That's an interesting question, Thomas. I mean, I'm not going to give any advice to Jurgen Klopp. He's a well-established manager. I think it was a huge experience for the young lads, and for them to get the win is incredible, and probably pushes and develops their career a lot quicker than other lads who are just playing normal 23s games. So for them, it's an unbelievable experience. I think it would have been maybe even better if they were being managed by Jurgen Klopp, because to have that experience and to play for a manager like that would really show you what the expectation is at the highest level. So maybe if he was there whilst they were playing, that would have been even better. But I understand they have an unbelievable schedule to deal with, so difficult. What's the thing you have to be most aware of when facing a quality striker? Joe, a lot of things with the top class strikers is they don't give you the opportunity to set yourself. So they'll hit a ball very quickly, very powerfully, and very accurately. So when facing a top striker, you need to be ready to make the save at any moment. You need your footwork to be sharp, your positioning to be spot on, and to be constantly ready to react to something that might happen, because if you switch off for half a second, that'll cost you a goal. What do you think about trash talking in games? I find it very useful in penalties. Be a hero and it messes them up. Marco, if you want to trash talk, that's fair enough. That's down to you. Personally, I don't really get involved because I find I'm very competitive, and if I find myself in a kind of 1v1 competition with someone where we're giving each other abuse or we're giving each other trash talk, then I end up concentrating too much on that and not on the game. And if I'm trying to get one over on them, I might miss an opportunity to do something right, which would actually help the team. So for me, I prefer to focus on what's actually happening in the game and winning as the way to shut them up if you need to. Would love to buy KA gloves. Ivan, don't worry. When you get back from your injury, let me know and you can watch some of them. Which striker would you hate to play against? Oh, good question, Troy. There's lots. There's some unbelievable strikers. Obviously, strikers like Messi and Ronaldo would be very, very difficult. But also strikers, I think Zlatan would actually be quite hard to play against, because he's very aggressive, very dominant, will challenge you physically, also technically very, very good. So you'd have to be on top of your game on kind of all elements to deal with that. But yeah, Aguero is a top striker as well. When's your next game? Next game is on Saturday. We have Lions of Gibraltar on Saturday at 6:15. Hi Milos, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. It was good to meet you the other week, sorry, when you were here. Do you think Alisson's having a top season? Thomas, Alisson is an incredible goalkeeper. I think I saw the save percentages that have kind of come out as a bit of a thing recently about the goalkeeper save percentages for the Premier League, and he is miles ahead of the top. He makes the simple things, he makes very difficult things look very simple, and he does very, very well. I don't know if he's having as kind of an amazing season because it's just continuing on from how he was last year, and it's less of a surprise, but he's a top keeper. Go like the video. I appreciate that. If you do like it, make sure you hit a like. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We need quite a lot of you guys watch the channel without subscribing, so if you haven't, make sure you subscribe. Who do you support in the Premier League? Man United are my team. Collabs with AOS goalkeeping maybe in the future? Yeah, definitely, Ivan. A lot of collaborations which would be quite cool to do. Hopefully over the summer, maybe when I've got some off time, when we're not in the season, it'd be good to do some. So if you know people that you'd like to see collaborations with, send them through. Game on 3G, big difference. Do you have any advice for transition? When playing on 3G versus grass, it depends on the level of 3G. If it's a nice new 3G, it's probably going to be absolutely fine. If it's an older one, you might obviously suffer some burns and abrasions. If you're worried about that, you can wear tights, you can wear undertops. things to cover the skin so that when you land, you're not worrying about landing and you're just concentrating on the game. If you haven't played on 3G in a while, I'd probably suggest that, at least in the warm-up whilst you get used to it. But just be ready that it is going to feel different, and landing on it can cause some abrasions if you've got bare skin. Do you prefer playing on wet or dry surfaces, Joe? Bit of a mix. When there's a little bit of water on the surface and it skips and it's moving quick, that's probably the best time. If it's really, really wet and horrible, and the ball sticks, it's hard to judge where the ball goes. If it's really dry, the ball doesn't roll properly, it gets stuck, so probably somewhere in between. How to prepare for a session in front of national coaches? Gavin, congrats if you got a session in front of national coaches, that's class. Do the basics right. They'll be looking at you to do the basics right, to be consistent. Don't try and do anything too flashy. Don't try and do anything too extreme. Just concentrate and deal with the situation that occurs as best as you can. Don't worry about doing too much and chasing it. Just do the basics. Who's your favourite keeper? At the minute, Ter Stegen at Barcelona, probably. He's my favourite keeper. Who's your dream coach? Oh, good question, Ivan. Goalkeeper coach or manager? Let me know. No worries, Gavin. Good luck for it, and let me know how it goes. I hope you do well. What do you do after a terrible game with lots of mistakes? Try and analyse the game, have a look at it, see where you went wrong, pick up the areas that you need to work on them in training, and once you've got it from that game, let it go, forget about it, move on. How old were you when you finished university? Jan, I finished uni when I was 23. I did a 4-year course. I went when I was 19, just about to turn 20, because I had a year out playing football for Macclesfield before that. And after my 4-year course, I was 23 when I graduated from Loughborough. How do you rate Pickford? Pickford is a top keeper. I think he lives on the edge, he plays on the edge, and sometimes that can damage him in terms of how he plays the game, but his distribution is unbelievable. His power and athleticism is incredible. His hands are brilliant. He's a very, very good goalkeeper, and there's a reason why he's played all those games as number 1 for England. Do you get many scouts from European clubs coming to watch games so that you get the chance to better yourself? Daryl, I always kind of look at it as you don't really want to worry about who's watching or who might be there, because if you're too distracted about that, then you might make yourself too nervous. You might be too busy worrying about that than you are on the game. I try and concentrate on doing what I do each day, every single day, trying to get better, and then know that if I keep doing that, the opportunities will come, wherever that will be. What do you plan? Oh, I didn't see that. What do you think of Johnny's pink hat? Johnny's pink hat is becoming a bit of a cult following. Someone should start a social media page for Johnny's pink hat. I like Johnny's pink hat. I think he rocks it. How tall are you? I am 1 meter 82 centimeters. Starting my first game on Monday, and I'm scared if I don't do well, I don't have a chance for a while. If you focus on negatives, it will normally come to fruition. So if you're worried about performing badly or making a mistake or trying to just impress people, it will normally go wrong. Instead, change that problem into a solution straight away. So instead of thinking, oh, on Monday, what if I don't do well? Think, on Monday, I've got a really good chance to play well. I've got a really good chance to cement my place in the team. I've got a really good chance to show people what I can do. If you change it to a solution-based thought rather than a negative-based thought, that is more likely to happen, and you're going to continue going like that, and you'll keep playing and you'll keep playing well. When's Johnny coming to Spain? Good question. He was supposed to be coming this month or the next couple of weeks, but he's stuck. Well, he's got some filming that he's got to do. He's got his own business running that, so hopefully he'll be able to come in the next few weeks, but we'll see. Nice one, Gavin. Let me know what you think. I hope you use the discount code if you were buying some Calio gloves. If you want to buy a pair, guys, use the discount code O'Keefe for 10% off. What time are we on? I need to head off to training very soon, so I'll try and answer as many questions as I can, and then I'll get going. How can I get better at being more aggressive? It depends what you mean by aggressive. If you mean brave and on the front foot and attacking things, that's something you can try and work on in training, something that you can focus on. If you mean aggressive in terms of your personality, might not be you. That might not be how you play. Try and identify what works for you best instead of worrying about what people think a goalkeeper should be. What's your favourite glove cut? Normally, I'd say negative cut, but I've been wearing some hybrids, which are a mix of negative and roll finger, and they are very, very good. Nice one, even. Love that. What advice would you give to someone trying to everything to get to high level, just can't get there? Daniel, well, it depends. A lot of factors are obviously in play. So have a look at the team, have a look at you, have a look at the opportunities that you've got. You might need to contact new teams and try and move to a different team. You might need to reassess your training and what you're doing and how you're getting better. There's lots of things, but try and take it back a bit if it hasn't worked for a while, reassess and then go again. Who's the best leader in your opinion? Connor Cody. Is that because you're a Wolves fan? I'm not sure who the best leader is. Virgil van Dijk has done very well after going to Liverpool. I'm not a Liverpool fan whatsoever, but you have to admire it. So he's a very good leader. Last few questions, and I will try my best to answer them, and then I need to head off to training. Love to see a collab with Pro GK. Elliot, I would love that too. Love Pro GK Academy. Absolutely brilliant page from Omar. So I'm sure, hopefully, in the future we can do something with them. I think you'd be a great. Oh, I didn't see that with Australia. Send that one again. See if I can see. Did you play for an academy back in England? I played for Crewe Alexandra when I was a kid, and then Macclesfield Town when I was a little bit older. About to start my GCSEs. Not sure how to balance them with training. What I need to do while getting revision. Blah blah blah. GCSEs. All types of exams, you have to plan your weeks out really clearly. So you have to plan when you're training, when your games are, and when your revision time is, because you need to do that work. So get a diary where it has the 7 days of the week and write out when you're supposed to be training, when you're supposed to be revising, and you can go from there. If you stick to that plan each week, you'll be able to fit both in. You might need to sacrifice some social time, but it is important if you want to progress your football alongside with doing well with your exams. Would you consider moving to a different continent to play football? I'd love to. Loads of places I'd like to play football. I'd love to play in America. I'd love to play in Australia. I'd love to play in New Zealand. I'd love to play in Asia. I'd love to play loads of different countries where I can learn new things, meet new people, see new places. Where are you from? I'm from the UK. I'm from Manchester. Do you think Macclesfield Town will stay up? I hope they do. Fingers crossed. That would be incredible. They've done very, very well seeing the points deduction they've already had. Come to the MLS. Frank, I'd love to play in the MLS one day. We'll see. Maybe. Okay, last couple of questions, then I need to go. Shoot. How do you cope with defenders blocking your view? Try and move so that you can see the ball as best as you can. When will the photo for this week's thumbnail? Pete, I'll send you a text. I need to send you a text. Too much going on, mate. Come to Finland. I'd love to play in Finland. I've never been to Finland, but it seems an amazing place. Would you like to play in the National League? Yeah, all these places I'd love to play. I'd love to play wherever. I think in my career to try and play in different places and see new things and see new countries, that's unbelievable. Right, I think that's it, guys. Thank you very, very much for sending your questions. I really appreciate it. If I didn't answer your question, hopefully I can next week. So come in again on Thursday around this time, and I can answer your questions as best I can. If I haven't answered your questions, send me a message on Instagram, send me a message on Twitter, and I will try my best to get back to you. But thank you for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on Sunday for the next episode of Keeping Goals. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will speak to you in a bit.